would say the biggest is that everyone says GEO is just SEO. And I would say it's probably the SEO is the foundation of a good GEO visibility or your GEO work basically. And maybe it also makes sense to make a differentiation between Google and AI mode, AI overview, but definitely like ChatGPT and Perplexity, they work differently. So the basis may be the same, but you still have to understand how the systems work, how you can influence the answers that your brand or your product get mentioned instead of the competitors. I would say the first aha moment was November 2022 when ChatGPT released ChatGPT or GPT 3.5 basically, and everyone was doing poems about the work, about SEO, and we said, oh wow, you can do a poem with an AI, right? So this was like a first step. And then I think in March 2023, where ChatGPT released like the internet connection, the search, I think they called it also the search GPT basically. And we realized, okay, now we can also use ChatGPT to search for products, to search for recommendations, for brands, for use cases where you need a solution. And then we still were not aware if this will change how people search and if there's really a threat for Google. So a lot of people said, oh, that's the biggest threat for Google. No one will Google anymore. Everyone will now use ChatGPT. And then we have realized, okay, there is something going in the market, right? So also Google is changing. So they become from a search engine to an answer engine to a dialogue-based AI engine, basically. So we see that they develop quite strongly because they realize users want to have an answer instead of 10 links. And this is where we have realized, okay, when Google is changing, then probably we as agency need to change as well. And then a lot of clients ask us, hey, what is now changing in the search industry? So how we can be visible more in the SGE features back then, before it was named AI overviews, or then the AI mode came to Germany last year in October, I think. So then we said, okay, it's here to stay, and we need to make sure that we support clients to be able to go this change within how people interact with the internet and search on the web. I think there were like three different vectors. On one side, a lot of clients had said, okay, now we have AI, so now you have to be much faster. So also like the efficiency of AI, which is one part of AI systems, also take place in our agency, that we make sure our processes are much better and we are faster in delivery, and the quality is maybe also a little bit better than when we do it completely manually. So that's one point. Another point is also that we make sure that we understand where we can reach the customer within all the different AI systems, right? So when we talk about B2C industry, probably ChatGPT and AI mode, AI overview are more relevant than Copilot. When we talk about B2B, where we see in Germany a lot of companies use Microsoft, maybe Copilot as a SaaS company, as a B2B service company, makes more sense to also have a look on Copilot, right? So you see that there are different AI systems. People now need to make sure they have on the radar or in mind. And on the other side, we also needed to educate our SEO experts to become more a GEO expert and understand, okay, how the new system works, how to create content for AI, citations, or to be more citation worthy, how to get a digital footprint in third-party data. And you also conducted a really nice study where you see, okay, Reddit is relevant, YouTube is relevant, depending on the industry, media is relevant. So it's becoming more and more, not just an SEO, it's now more that you also have to take care of your brand, to make sure you do PR, you do brand, you optimize your brand for search, and it's becoming more broader and more connected to other, I would say, departments within a company, instead of just working SEO on your own dedicated website. I would totally agree. AI search is a brand channel. They are not made to drive traffic. And I think this is the biggest mistake if you think AI search is not relevant to me because I just have 2% AI traffic. And that's often what companies think, right? Yeah. Does not generate any traffic, so probably I do not need to take care of it. But then we see that, and that's also what we see for our agency, that a lot of companies which reach out to us say, hey, we know you from ChatGPT, we know you from Gemini, even that our own traffic on our own agency website is really, really little compared to organic, to paid, to social media, whatever. And I would say to monitor your mentions for the right prompts you would like to be visible within your target group, is like the first key, right? So to be mentioned, to build up your visibility in different systems, the systems which are relevant to you, and then also to make sure that you also get cited. So to have a look on the citation rate, the citation rate of you versus your competitors, and also to see what are the third-party citations where you also can take place. For us as an agency, it makes sense to work with agenturtip.de or OMR reviews because they are quite strongly cited when someone is asking for a service provider in SEO or GEO. So I would say, first of all, tracking the right prompts with a tool like Utterly, track the mentions, track the citations. Also maybe the sentiment. I'm not such a big fan of sentiment because I would say if you have a problem with the sentiment, then you have a problem with your product and not with your AI search. So I would sentiment tells you if the internet is writing, well, what is the internet is writing basically about you, and it's not the case that I would highly recommend to work on a sentiment because in general the AI systems talk quite positively about a brand instead of pointing out the negative aspects. So this is why sentiment is something what I would do maybe at the latest to have a look at. And also one recommendation I would recommend to every company is to have like a self-reported attribution, like after sales, like after the purchase, to ask, hey, where do you now ask from? So on one side you have your input metrics. What do you change on your website? What do you change on your external, let's say PR base that you are cited more often or mentioned more often in the relevant media? And on the other side, what kind of impact you can measure in terms of visibility, in terms of mentions and basically also on the citations. And I would highly recommend when you're talking to the management that on one side you show them how the visibility develops over the time and also what were the actions maybe. So here we had a publication, maybe here we had an advertorial, maybe here we changed the content, and you see, okay, the to-dos you have in your team, they on a scale of all your activities, they bring you more visibility on one side. On the other side, I would still measure AI traffic, which comes to Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, because we see that this traffic converts much better than classic organic traffic. So even the traffic is little, it's maybe more relevant for your business. And the other side, the self-reported attribution. This could also be something what you report to the management and say, look, we gain visibility, and this is why we have more self-reported leads based on ChatGPT and AI mode, Gemini, whatever. Yeah. So and then you have different metrics you have a look at, and then it's making a big picture out of AI search, I would say. Yeah. So I would always have a look what is possible today and what is maybe also possible in the future, because when we have a look how SEO develops the decades before and how GEO is now developing, that everyone is looking for a shortcut. Yeah. And I would say maybe the shortcut today works today, but maybe will be a threat in 3 years, 5 years. So I would also say like self-promotional listicles, which work quite well. We tested this as well. It worked like hell, but that's something maybe which also is against German law, local law. Also like external listicles work quite well, but maybe advertorials which are now used for AI search maybe also get filtered out of AI systems because they say, hey, they are not objective. If I pay for an advertorial, for sure I can write whatever I want, right? So you also see when you compare it to SEO that paid media does not influence that strong organic, and I'm sure that this will be also somewhere in AI search, that everything which is paid will not have such an impact, strong impact on your organic AI visibility. But what I've tested a couple of weeks ago, and I was realizing that now some of the AI systems pick it up again, is to have content within the alt tag of an image. So we did a test where we said, hey, Claneo has an office in Berlin as well as in New York, and we did it on white text and white background, and this was quite easy cited and mentioned by AI systems. And then we corrected it again, and then we tried to put this information for another city into the alt tag of an image, and we said, okay, Claneo has an image, Claneo has an office in Kapstadt. And for a long time, none of the AI picked it up, but now we see since a couple of weeks that some AIs now take the alt tag into account, so that you also see that it changes how AI systems crawl your page, and maybe to take care of your alt tags makes sense nowadays. Back then, before like or 6 months ago, maybe does not make any sense to have a strong focus on alt text. So you also see that this connection between SEO, classic SEO, that this also makes sense to be aware what you should do in terms of classic SEO and also what have an impact on GEO, and testing is everything. Either you follow your tests or our tests, because if you don't test it, you will never know what really works. And I would say when you compare that to SEO, GEO is not, there's no playbook which 100% says that's how it's working, this is how you go. So it's still re-engineering how AI systems react when you do things and change things on your website. I would say the first question I would ask myself is who is owning AI search? So is this a part of the SEO team? Is it a part of the branding team, or maybe of the PR communications team? Because there are different factors which play a role within AI search. So when we talk about external third-party citations mentions, then probably PR is really important. So you should involve PR as well, that we make sure we can gain more external traction, digital footprint for our brand. When it comes to tech GEO, and you make sure that the website is crawlable, is indexable for the AI system, then probably it's still something with the SEO team and the IT of your IT department. When we talk about sentiment, maybe then also it's a product brand topic, right? So it's more broader than the SEO was before. And I would still say when we talk about re-engineering how AI search works, that SEO can play an important role, because we did it decades before at Google, and still leveraging how Google search works and how to be more visible in the old world, and also now to be more visible in the new world, AI search world. That I would say when someone has to own it, I would probably give it to an SEO team, because they have the skill set to have all the factors of AI search and not just the, let's say, reputation PR topic. So this is why I would highly recommend to give it to the SEO team, because I'm sure they will own it as well as they did it for organic search. They just need to Google, either they Google for Claneo.com, or they ask which is the best agency SEO agency in Germany. Hopefully we show up at ChatGPT and Gemini, but I would say go to Claneo.com and you will find everything what you need.